Hi everyone, welcome to 5 Quote Shakespeare, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone clips. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to visit my YouTube channel for a chapter-by-chapter analysis of the most important themes in the story. See the description for details. Thanks for watching. So far, I've argued that the hero's journey, the hero's cycle, is our own cycle. It's a mirror of our own cycle, and that's true. That's absolutely true. I became a teacher by overcoming the obstacles in my way and following my own Hagrid, that kind of thing. But the true heroes are different. They are marked. They are separate from us because they have capacities that are beyond us. Not everyone can be an astronaut, for example. Maybe they are the world-saving heroes. There are exceptional heroes, and Harry Potter is that kind of chosen child of destiny. But even in their struggles, we see our own a reflection of our own lives our own lives are a smaller version of that. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're getting up to the macro level now, the cosmic level now. The world of the Savior, quite literally, in the religions of the world, the great religions of the world, the Savior figures. So in the myths, religions, and fairy tales of the world, the hero Savior is marked out by a miraculous birth. Go study your world religions. There's always a miraculous birth. And there's very, very often, if not always, an abandonment or exile from the world, because the world doesn't have the nourishment that the Savior requires. They go beyond the everyday requirements of life, and they transcend that. Do you see? That's what the Savior hero does. So Harry is twice born. This is fascinating. I love what J.K. Rowling did with this. Harry is born when Voldemort fails to kill him. He's twice born. He's born when he's born, and then he's really born as the Savior when Voldemort fails to kill him. Oh, it's beautiful. So what should have meant death is in fact the miraculous birth into his saviorhood, DC. And then what happens? He is immediately abandoned to a wasteland, there it is, of privet drive. He's exiled from his true society, that of wizards. So when I encounter this in story after story, and myth after myth after myth, and I wonder, what's the significance of it? Why do we bother with this? Why does it keep coming up? Well, what happens here, and I get this from Joseph Campbell again. Here's a little quote. The myths agree that an extraordinary capacity is required to face and survive such experience. So that's the first thing that this exile teaches us, is that not everyone would survive it. Not everyone would survive it. There are lots of people that would end up in privet drive and would not have the strength of character, the physical strength to overcome this. In Hamlet, for example, by Shakespeare, there's Ophelia. She's a very, very weak character, and she's thrown into a wasteland, a terrible wasteland of her family and the society, and a cosmic wasteland too. And she crumbles. She doesn't have the heroic qualities to overcome it. Hamlet, you've heard the word Hamlet. Hamlet too, barely. He tragically dies at the end, but he barely has the capacity to become the world-saving hero as well. So not everyone can do it. And I don't know, I mean, what 0.11% of people can be an astronaut, for example? I mean, it's really, really hard. So what these trials do is they test the fortitude, they test the capacities of the hero, and a lot of them don't survive. The other thing that's really, really cool about it is the young world apprentice, that's the young hero, learns the lesson of the seed powers. Now here Campbell's talking about a myth whereby the hero goes underground. And how many times does Harry go underground? I mean, or under the water? They are planted. The hero is planted in the earth like a seed so that they can grow and fructify, make fruitful the world, do you see? It's absolutely gorgeous imagery here. So the young world apprentice learns the lesson of the seed powers. Once they're down there, they learn something that we don't have access to. The shaman, the real mystic priests, the real visionaries, the real artists, they learn something that we don't have access to. And in Harry Potter #1, we have a caricature of the Dursleys, and we make fun of them because they're goofy and they're dumb and they're ignorant. But really, that's most of us. The real hero is way down there at a transcendent level. Look at a Van Gogh painting. Van Gogh saw the world in a way that we can't. So they go beyond the normal, beyond the realm of the known, and they show us something that's transcendent, and they bring it back to the world. That's what our really, really great artists do you see? So the young hero apprentice learns the lesson of the seed powers, which are deep, which reside just beyond the sphere of the measured and the named, the experts. Beyond what the scientists can tell us, there's something There's something transcendent beyond that. Now, do you have a religion that maps out that transcendence for you? A lot of us these days, as I've mentioned, don't have that religion to map the transcendent, and so we have to find it ourselves. But again, we see in these stories a fictionalized map of them that do provide spiritual nourishment. How many billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars did these books make? That's how important that spiritual nourishment is to us. So here we see in chapter 1, page 18, Harry Potter rolled over inside his blankets without waking up. One small hand closed on the letter beside him, and he slept on, not knowing that he was the chosen one, not knowing that he was about to be tested, not knowing that he has gained the seed powers. The scar is a symbol of those seed powers, the transcendent knowledge beyond the realm of the known. He doesn't know this yet, of course, not knowing that he was famous, not knowing that he would be woken in a few hours' time by Mrs. Dursley's scream as she opened the front door to put out the milk bottles, nor he didn't know that he would spend the next few weeks being prodded and pinched by his cousin Dudley. That's the test. That's the capacity of the hero, the stoic resilience that Harry shows. He doesn't crumble like Ophelia or Hamlet in that Shakespeare story. He lives up to it. And again, we see ourselves, the ideal self in Harry Potter. Yes, my life isn't perfect, but I can overcome, DC. We see that as the ideal. Okay, so that's kind of the positive side of the Child of Destiny, but we have to remember that the Child of Destiny, the chosen one, is also a life destroyer as well as a life fructifier as well as a life giver. So as demonstrated in the hero's cycle, the knowledge the hero gains in exile is the seed of the universal divine. It really is that big. It is the fructifying principle that revitalizes the world. It makes fruitful the world. And in Harry Potter, what is it? It's what it is in all of the high religions. In the Harry Potter stories, this is aptly, this power, this universal divine knowledge, power, is identified as love, very, very explicitly. It is the force that saved Harry from Voldemort, and love does quite literally fructify the universe. Creation, rejuvenation is the hero's job number one. And look at all your high religions. The Buddha, Christ, Muhammad, Shiva, all of these gods are connected in some very, very profound way with the fructifying force of love, the universal divine principle, do you see? Very, very interesting. So the power of love here is hinted at. We don't get a full exploration of this yet, not until the end of this book, but we get a hint at it in chapter 1 here. Professor McGonagall's voice trembled as she went on. That's not all, she says, talking to Dumbledore. They're saying that Voldemort tried to kill Potter's son, Harry, but he couldn't. Why not? Because of the second birth that the mother gave to Harry, which is that gift of love. He couldn't kill that little boy, Voldemort couldn't. No one knows why, but we do, of course, dear reader. But they're saying that when he couldn't kill Harry Potter, Voldemort's power somehow broke, and that's why he's gone. That's the savior. Now, we're not talking about you and I as muggles, dear viewer. We're talking about really the savior hero, the Christ figures, the Muhammad figures, these massively important, cosmically important world saviors. That's what Harry is. It's the divine principle of love. It quite literally fructifies the world. Without love, we wouldn't be attracted to each other and we wouldn't make babies, and that's what keeps life going, DC. Interesting though, at the same time, now J.K. Rowling didn't have to use the symbol of, it doesn't have to be, that scar didn't have to be a lightning bolt. It could have been something else. Now, it's kind of cool because it's a lightning bolt and, magic makes kind of lightning. But at a deeper level, lightning is a cosmic energy, and it's very, very dangerous. It is electricity that gives light and life, but it's also can be very, very destructive. So it's a cool symbol, like most of the symbols in Harry Potter. So Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall bent forward over the bundle of blankets when they're leaving Harry at the doorstep. Inside, just visible, was a baby boy fast asleep. Under a tuft of jet black hair over his forehead, they could see the curiously cut shape, that bolt of lightning. That is a dual symbol of cosmic energy. Both Harry has to become the life destroyer in order to destroy beasts that threaten life itself, DC. So the hero is both the hero of love and the hero of death. Now look at your myths all over the world. All over the world, that's what the savior is. It's the mark of the hero. It's the power of life as well as death. Without that power to destroy evil in the world, then you don't have a complete hero. Okay, speaking of heroes, let's look at the sacrifice of the mother.